She was the perfect girlfriend, beautiful, intelligent, and seemingly devoted. He was the successful bachelor with a promising future, but beneath their picture-perfect romance lay a dark obsession, jealousy, and a fatal attraction that would end in one of the most shocking murders in recent history. This is the story of Jodi Arias, the woman who seduced, manipulated, and ultimately destroyed the life of the man she claimed to love. Jodi Arias grew up in a small town in California, raised in a strict household where discipline was a way of life. From a young age, Jodi longed for independence and a life filled with love and adventure. In her early 20s, she moved from job to job, never quite settling down, always searching for something more. It was at a company convention in Las Vegas in 2006 that she met Travis Alexander, a charming, successful salesman who seemed to have it all: a great career, a deep faith, and a bright future ahead. Travis, 30 years old, was a motivational speaker and a top performer at Prepaid Legal Services, Inc., where he had built a reputation for his charisma and drive. Born into a troubled family, he had overcome a difficult childhood marked by neglect and abuse to achieve success. Travis was a devout Mormon, active in his church, and dreamed of a family that reflected his values. When he met Jodi, he was instantly attracted to her striking beauty and engaging personality. They spent hours talking, and by the end of the night, they felt an undeniable connection. Their relationship took off quickly, fueled by intense emotions and a whirlwind of romantic encounters. Jodi seemed to be everything Travis wanted: attentive, affectionate, and eager to embrace his faith. In November 2006, just 2 months after they met, Jodi was baptized into the Mormon Church, with Travis proudly standing by her side. But beneath the surface of their passionate relationship, dark undercurrents began to swirl. Friends of Travis began to notice signs of trouble. Jodi's behavior became increasingly obsessive and erratic. She moved from California to Mesa, Arizona, to be closer to Travis, inserting herself into every aspect of his life. She would show up unannounced at his home, sometimes letting herself in without permission. She monitored his social media, hacked into his personal accounts, and grew jealous of any woman who spent time with him. Travis confided in his friends that he felt suffocated by Jodi, describing her as someone who could not let go. Despite these red flags, Travis and Jodi's relationship continued, marked by intense arguments, passionate reconciliations, and a toxic cycle of breaking up and getting back together. Travis tried to distance himself from Jodi, telling friends he felt she was dangerous and that he feared what she might do, but every time he pulled away, Jodi found a way to pull him back in, using a mix of charm, manipulation, and emotional pleas. By early 2008, Travis had decided it was time to move on. He began dating other women and made plans for a new future. He confided in friends that he was done with Jodi and wanted to end their relationship once and for all. But Jodi wasn't ready to let go. Her jealousy reached a fever pitch as she realized Travis was slipping away. She began showing up at his house in the middle of the night, slashing his tires, and sending threatening messages to the women he was seeing. On June 2nd, 2008, Jodi rented a car in Redding, California, and set off on a road trip that would take her through Arizona. She told friends she was heading to Utah for a work conference and to see a new potential boyfriend, but her route took her to Mesa, where Travis lived. She borrowed gas cans, filled them up, and turned off her cell phone for long stretches to avoid being tracked. Her intentions were clear. She was determined to see Travis one last time, and nothing would stop her. Jodi arrived at Travis's home on June 4th, 2008. The two spent the day together, taking photographs and seemingly enjoying each other's company. But as the evening wore on, something changed. The last photos of Travis alive show him standing in the shower, smiling. Just moments later, the photos show signs of violence, and Travis's life would end in a brutal attack that left him with multiple injuries. When Travis failed to show up for appointments and stopped answering calls, his friends grew concerned. They went to his home on June 9th, 2008, and found his body in the shower. The scene was horrific, with evidence of a violent struggle. The police were called, and an investigation was launched immediately. Travis's friends pointed to Jodi as a likely suspect, knowing the volatile nature of their relationship and her obsessive behavior. Initially, Jodi denied any involvement. She claimed she had been on a road trip to Utah and hadn't seen Travis for weeks, But her story fell apart when investigators found a digital camera in the washing machine at Travis's home. The memory card contained deleted photos from the day of the murder, showing Travis alive, followed by images of him injured and Jodi in the frame. Further evidence, including a bloody palm print and strands of Jodi's hair, linked her directly to the crime. Confronted with the mounting evidence, Jodi's story changed multiple times. She first claimed she wasn't there, then concocted a tale of masked intruders who broke in, attacked Travis, and fled while she escaped. Later, she admitted to killing Travis but insisted it was in self-defense, alleging he had been abusive throughout their relationship. Her shifting stories only raised more questions and deepened the mystery. The trial began in January 2013, and it became one of the most watched trials in recent history. The courtroom was packed with spectators, and cameras broadcast the proceedings live to millions of viewers. Jodi took the stand in her own defense, giving a detailed account of her version of events. She painted Travis as a controlling, abusive partner who had driven her to the breaking point. She described their relationship as tumultuous and claimed she had no choice but to protect herself. The prosecution countered by presenting a different narrative. They argued that Jodi was a manipulative, jealous woman who had meticulously planned the murder out of revenge. They presented evidence of premeditation, including her careful planning, the use of gas cans to avoid a paper trail, and her decision to turn off her phone during critical parts of the journey. They pointed to the brutality of the attack, arguing that it was far from an act of self-defense. The trial captivated the public, with viewers tuning in daily to hear the latest developments. Jodi's demeanor on the stand, calm, composed, and often emotionless, fueled intense speculation about her true nature. Some saw her as a victim of abuse, while others viewed her as a cold-blooded killer. The media dubbed it the trial of the century, and every detail was scrutinized, from Jodi's courtroom appearance to her ever-changing stories. After months of testimony and deliberation, the jury found Jodi Arias guilty of first-degree murder on May 8, 2013. The sentencing phase became another dramatic chapter in the case. The jury was deadlocked on whether to impose the death penalty or life in prison. In 2015, after a second jury also failed to reach a unanimous decision, Jodi was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Even behind bars, Jodi continued to make headlines. She gave interviews from prison, maintaining her innocence and claiming she was the real victim. She filed multiple appeals, arguing that her trial was tainted by excessive media coverage and procedural errors. Her case has inspired books, documentaries, and TV specials, cementing its place as one of the most notorious crimes in modern American history. For the friends and family of Travis Alexander, the pain of his loss remains a daily reality. They remember him as a kind, generous man with a bright future, taken away by a woman who claimed to love him. The case serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of obsession and the devastating consequences it can have. Jodi Arias' story is one of love turned to obsession, of a relationship spiraling into darkness, and of a crime that shocked the world. It's a story that remains etched in the public's memory, a chilling tale of how far someone will go when they feel they have nothing left to lose.